The other thing that I would say is when you're out of college and you're used to hanging out with your buds and doing things on weekends, don't stop doing that, but learn more about how a business works. It took me a long time to realize that I could learn things from books, I could learn things from other people. And if you're going to pursue something in the business world, you got to know how a business operates, how they're profitable, how do you get paid as an employee.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum back with another edition of Scaling Up Success podcast powered by Cynergists. Cynergist is your scalable operations company that helps you grow exponentially at a fraction of the cost. Check out Cynergist.com. Today, I have on Jimi Gibson with Thrive. Jimmy, how are you today?
I'm good, Ryan. Glad to be here.
Well, thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate your time. Man, you're a man of many talents and many opportunities, and I'm just ready to jump into this stuff. So tell me a little bit about what you got going on with Thrive.
Yeah, so Thrive, believe it or not, we've been around for 20 years, which is sort of a unicorn in the digital marketing space. Matt Bowman started the company actually as a web development company, and then quickly the clients were saying, "This is great. How do we get traffic to this website?" And so over the course of those 20 years, we've added a bunch of different services, and I think we're probably best known for our SEO, but we're full service. We don't specialize in any industry. I joined the company about 5 years ago. My background has been in the agency world way back when they were called advertising agencies, and then sort of the fork in the road happened with digital marketing. I think we're approaching a different fork in the road with AI. We might get into that. But yeah, I joined the company to start the strategy department. I'm a firm believer if you don't have a plan, you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be and probably somewhere very expensive. So I sort of set the tone for how we go about setting the strategy for our clients. I guess we're a pretty large agency. We've got about 175 Thrivers, as we call them, and have about 1,000 active clients. And we've actually developed, we call it the Thrive Score. We look at about 175 data points for every prospect and every client. And we set a path for them for growth based on their business goals. And then, we overlay some filters of, are they a startup? Are they mature? Are they in a growth mode? Whatever the case may be. What is their industry? And yeah, it's always exciting to get to know business owners. I mean, we work with large franchise companies, we work with enterprise organizations, but Matt really instills in the team that we have a heart for helping that mom and pop who want to succeed. And yeah, it's just an awesome place to be.
Man, I love that. I love that. And I love that you've had, this continued growth all the way through, man. And what do you attest that success, that continued growth to be from, man? Is it just the culture that you guys have been building over there?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. Matt is a firm believer in he's not the smartest person in the room, so he's going to seek the advice of other people. And, when you think about business coaches or mentors or those types of things, I think the old adage is when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, somebody came into Matt's life that actually is a business partner of Matt's, and they had a great synergy together. And around 2016, they set some audacious goals and just went for it. I think the reason why we're able to keep clients and we're able to keep staff is that culture aspect that you talked about. I've never really been in an agency that discourages overtime. You don't get a badge of honor by working 24/7, which is really cool. I've been in some toxic environments where that's the expectation. We also track giving and volunteering as a top level KPI at the executive level. So we believe if you're involved in your community and you're giving back, it creates an open-handed mentality. And we encourage people to donate to their charity. We have a matching program. We track that. We have goals for the year. We also have a volunteering goal for every employee. We give some time off if you want to be involved in something that's important to you. We often have a lot of people team up and they'll do an event together. When we get together in person, we pick a organization that needs some help. And yeah, I think it's a mindset thing that when you're not working 24/7, you're giving back to your community, you're realizing you're not the only person in the world, that there's other people that need your help. If you have a skill of copywriting, go help a nonprofit copyright on their website or whatever the case may be. And yeah, it just feels like an awesome place. And that mentality, I think, transfers over to our clients. We can be good stewards of their budgets and their money, and we want to know what they're involved in. And we give a micro loan through Kiva for every client that we onboard. And so we allow one of the people at Thrive to choose from Kiva's website, who do you think we should help out? And they get to look around and pick somebody out. And yeah, it's just a lot of things like that that I think make it where we are today.
That's very cool, man. Super cool. I love the philanthropic. That's easy word for me to say.
Yeah, that's a $10 word, isn't it?
Philanthropic mindset that your whole team, empowers, to, from the top all the way down. That's really cool. So like since you've been with Thrive, like what unexpected opportunities have you had come up that, you're like, man, I would have never in a million years have thought of, been a part of something like this, with this, or maybe this opportunity came up.
Yeah, well, one came up about 6 months ago, which is why I'm on this call with you. I said that I had joined the team as the lead strategy person and developed a team around that. And then there was an opportunity to move up to the executive level. I think I've had 5 different job roles in the 5 years that I've been there. And so I'm always, that's the, thing about a growing company, right? Opportunities always come about and you can raise your hand and say, hey, I think I'd like to be involved in that. So I was actually VP of operations. I was leading all the teams that did the work. So that was like 100 and some people who delivered all the work for our clients. And then the owner came to me and said, hey, we've kind of been the secret behind the scenes. We've got 20 years of client experience. We probably have some things to offer the rest of the business world out there. I don't want to be the face of the brand. I wanted to be you. And I was like, what? And so I accepted the challenge and have been writing on Forbes and Entrepreneur and been at conferences speaking and really love listening to podcasts. I think, as you're going about your day, whatever that might be, you can kind of soak up the knowledge of other people. And so we made a proactive approach just to give back and to teach some lessons that we've learned. And if I had to write a job description, it would be the perfect one for me. And yeah, I would say that's something that I never thought would be possible, but very thankful for it.
And that's fantastic. And it's amazing when like I was former military man, and like anytime one of it was like one of my senior enlisted when I first started, he told me it's always better to volunteer than be voluntold.
Oh yeah.
So volunteering for new opportunities, it's amazing how those roles will, take you in unexpected opportunities. It's really cool.
Yeah. And I think, for folks that are listening out there, it's almost like an entrepreneur type of mindset with your own organization. There's all sorts of things that you can help the company and you can help communicate their mission. You can increase their revenue. You can help in a leadership role. You can be a cheerleader, whatever the case may be. And everybody has those individual talents and just be okay with that. Like I really wanted to write and I really wanted to start that. And so I started writing for Forbes before I was in this role. And that sort of triggered the owner to go, well, he likes this. Let's go ahead and make it his full-time gig. And so I think those are things that don't be scared to put yourself out there and try new things and volunteer, like you said, because then you control the narrative. You don't get put in a position that maybe you don't really want to do, but you kind of feel like you have to. So
Exactly. Exactly. I love it, man. Very cool. So, like one of the things that I see in especially in the space that you're in is like how do you stay up on all the industry trends and new advancements that are happening, man? It just feels like our society is changing so quickly in the last like 5, 10 years, man. How is your team keeping up with all of that?
yeah, it is crazy. I was on a show the other day and we were talking about AI, and I'll talk about some other things other than AI, but he said, yeah, it's kind of crazy because I got to release this episode within the next day or two, because if I wait a week, the narrative has probably changed and there's new updates. So, there's a lot of pressure if you're going to jump onto that topic. I
Right.
think what's cool about Thrive, and we went through a major reorganization about 2 years ago that I was able to be sort of the champion for that, where we're a pretty big agency. And I think we were losing touch with that individual connection with our clients, and clients weren't sure who was on what team. And so we basically restructured the whole company into 4 boutique agencies. And we have subject matter experts for each of our service areas. And it's kind of their responsibility to keep up with the trends and then pass those along. We have a very active intranet. And then I think one of the ways that you can be successful, especially in the digital marketing space, is to have a curious mind and to ask your colleagues and to reach out and make sure you're keeping up with publications and algorithm changes and platform changes. And why should you do that? Because your clients are very educated. They're asking questions and you better have an answer for it.
Right.
So there's a little bit of peer pressure to make sure you stay up with it so that you can have good conversations in team meetings. And then you're also sort of put on the spot sometimes on a call, and you want to make sure you either have the answer or you know where to go find that answer and then follow up. So yeah, it's a constant changing landscape for sure.
Absolutely, man. And props to you guys to always be open enough, even if you're a large company, to be open enough to be able to find the ways to continue to reach your customers at their level. So that's really cool. Nice work. What do you think that when you're trying to reach your customers, do you think what unique challenges are you seeing that business owners are facing right now?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. I would say certainly, and most of our customers are in the US. We do have some outside the US, but of course, everybody's mind is about the economy, what's going to happen. There's been changes in the political environment. Is there going to be a recession? Is there not going to be a recession? You know, those types of things, which sometimes marketing and advertising is the first thing to get cut, but it's actually your opportunity to speak into an area that if other people are pulling back, you can step into that void. One thing that we are seeing, which is fun to some business owners and a little scary to other business owners, is with these large language model results coming out as Google shifted over to AI mode in early May, is sometimes it's not about showing up on page one. Actually, the digital PR and the footprint of your expertise is even more important. And so where a business owner may not be showing up in a blog or in a PR mention, it's actually very positive for that business owner to step out from behind the logo. Talk a lot about that with franchise owners. You know, they got used to leveraging off of the popularity of their particular franchise group. But we see that all the time, especially with the Google mandate for the acronym EAT, EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. And we're seeing that companies that lean into that digital PR provide a bigger and more expertise focused, if that's a word. We're making up words today, Ryan.
I'm
Presence
down with it.
online. Yeah. So
I doubt. I love what you got with that experience side of it, man. You got to have that trustworthy, piece of with the algorithm now. It just feels like it's gotten so complex with the way that each one of the algorithms, whether it's, the Meta side or TikTok or,
yeah.
like Google itself, all of these have different, algorithms to be able, but most of it comes back to we've almost kind of went away from looking at, paid ads and more, there's far more like what we've seen is far greater growth on the organic side in the last 6 months.
Which has not been the case for about the last 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree. We have a very large franchise company that's part of a 10 brand powerhouse of various brands. And so they just hired a new CMO, and I was chatting with her and I said, well, you're new. You've got 10 brands, almost $1 billion in business, or just from the brand that we work with. What is going to be your first directive? And she says, we're doing a personal branding playbook for every franchise owner. They have to realize. And they said, when a franchise owner steps out, and this could be any business owner, into their local community and does what you just said, shows up on organic social, their referrals can increase up to 30%. I mean, that's just insane.
Absolutely, man. And there's, I think people are going away from that. I mean, it's still always going to be there, like the paid ads, and you're going to get some clicks, and it's what people think is the easiest. How can they get to click the link? But what we've found, and I'm sure you guys are seeing this too, is like that. the referral side, is far greater. And as long as you stay within your referrals and you continue to build those relationships, those ones are actually far deeper and greater than the pay-per-click type of stuff. Is that what you guys are seeing as well?
Yeah. And I think when you kind of get out of the office and show up on a job site, if you're a home service provider, you have a whole crew of folks that could be showing up on social media and educating clients about why they need to hire you instead of trying the DIY method. Join your local chamber of commerce, show up for a ribbon cutting, get involved in a local charity. If you sponsor a group and you get your website or brand mentioned on that charity, there's link juice that is transferred from that organization back, but then you also get that feel good of being out in the community. And we're seeing and we're encouraging our clients to be active. I'm sort of preaching to the choir here, but the hardest thing to get from a client is content. And so
Yeah.
you're trying to manufacture this content that feels a little inauthentic, right? Because we're not sitting there and walking out their day to day. And so it becomes more of an education and here's what you need to do. And then we can certainly craft something that helps you, but you've got to get out there and be involved in your area and be that local hero, especially if you're have a geographic area that you're serving. Be the one who's known in that area.
Love that, man. Love that. You're killing the game on that stuff right there. That's great stuff. So now let's kind of flip this a little bit because you've built yourself up into, the C-suite, type of executive, but like what advice would you give little Jimmy? The the gentleman that came out of the high school to college ranks. What's one little piece of advice you'd give him?
Well, when you get out of college, you think you're going to conquer the world, whatever your expertise is, and you soon realize you're not even a goldfish, you're an itty bitty minnow in a big sea. And so I have a performing background, and my performing background, you have to practice and you have to sort of pay your dues and that type of thing. And so I just kind of had this mindset that I would be, again, inquisitive. And I started out as a graphic designer and was working in an agency that very, great place. They're not around anymore, but would always be bugging the owners like, why are we doing this? What do they want to accomplish? Is there something that we should be doing? And finally, I think they just got fed up and they said, why don't you go talk to the people and figure it out on your own? And so as I look back, I think I would tell myself, be a little bolder, ask to go meet with a client. Don't wait until you're asked. I mean, certainly be respectful, certainly don't step on anybody's toes. But I thought about how long it took for them to say, oh my gosh, just go meet with them. If I had asked or I had maybe inquired a little bit earlier, things would have progressed. I mean, I don't regret the path that I was on, but yeah, I would say that would be one thing that I would say. The other thing that I would say is, when you're out of college and you're used to a certain kind of hanging out with your buds and doing things on weekends, don't stop doing that, but learn more about how a business works. It took me a long time to realize that I could learn things from books. I could learn things from other people. And if you're going to pursue something in the business world, you got to know how a business operates, how they're profitable. How do you get paid as an employee? What does a profit sharing program look like? What is a 401k? Why should you think about a 401k and not just, schlep it off as some kind of something that you don't know anything about? And so I'd tell myself to learn more about that quicker.
Love that, man. Love that. And it's more about that taking action and instead of reaction, like almost to a certain extent, like I kind of lived by it in the military a little bit was like it's easier to apologize than ask, you
Oh
know.
yeah, ask for forgiveness or apologize after that instead of asking in advance. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, I love that, man. So as we kind of wind it down here, you ready for a little rapid fire questioning?
bring it on.
All right. So what's the book or the podcast that's really got you right now?
Oh wow, I would say there's a book that I go back to often. It's a book called I'm Possible. It's spelled impossible, but it's actually a photographer, Jeremy Cowart, Cowart, And it's all about his journey and talk about philanthropy. It's very humbling to see what he's done as a photographer in the business world, that he has been involved in so many things that give back across the globe, that his journey is just a testament to putting yourself out there and making things happen. So I would say that's one. I'm a big TEDx fan, so I love watching TED Talks. And there is a podcast called The Moth, which is, and I know this is rapid fire, so I'm sorry if this is too long, but it's all about story. It's all about storytelling. So if you want to learn how to tell stories, which is vital in the business world, listen to the Moth radio show.
Love it. Love it. What about a bucket list travel spot?
Oh, wow. My wife and I just got back from England. And while we were over there, I think the first day we're like, we got to plan this again. But I think we're interested in Paris. I want to go to Austria. So yeah, just seeing more of the world.
Nice. What's on your workout playlist?
Well, the place I work out, they control that. And I notice that the group that I work out with, it's always sort of 80s rock. And that sort of gets me fired up, just not only because of my age bracket, just because of the driving guitar riffs. So I would say that's probably a go-to.
Nice. A little Journey playing in the background. Let's get it.
Yeah.
What's your go-to type of drink? We got coffee, tea, soda, energy drinks, anything like that?
I drink about 10 cups of hot tea a day.
Someone's wired.
Yeah, somebody's wired. I didn't want to get hooked on coffee because I thought I would get addicted. Well, it didn't quite work out with hot tea. So
Fair, fair. Okay. Favorite cheat meal?
oh gosh, spaghetti and meatballs. That's my death row inmate meal. If that was my last meal, spaghetti and meatballs.
I love it, man. I love it. And are you a early bird or a night owl?
I've transitioned into an early bird. So
All right. So
do
it
my
can
best
be
thinking.
done. It can be done.
It can.
Well, you made it through rapid fire, my friend. Great job on that. Great
All right.
job.
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah. The heat is off now.
I never know what's coming.
Exactly. So people are interested in your services. How can they get a hold of you, man?
Yeah, if you just want to have a chat, post a video every day on LinkedIn, Monday through Friday, and just teach some kind of cool thing, connect with me there, DM. Happy to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee with you over a call, or reach out to thriveagency.com. And we got a lot of stuff going on there that you can learn more about, or connect with us if you need some help.
Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast today. Thank you so much for jumping on and sharing your expertise, my friend. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Absolutely. Once again, Ryan Van Ornum with the Scaling Up Success podcast powered by Cynergists. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. And until next time, take care, everyone.